Elsewhere, the families of the victims of 9/11 attacks in the U.S. have taken legal action against Saudi Arabia. They say Riyadh helped terrorists carry out the attacks. The lawsuit says Saudi Arabia in several ways supported the al-Qaeda terrorists who conducted the attacks. It names several charities in the kingdom, or what it calls, quote, alter egos of the Saudi government. The lawsuit also says that the charities ran terrorist training camps in Afghanistan in cooperation with al-Qaeda's leader Osama Bin Laden. According to the complaint, Riyadh directly funded the terror organization and helped it, including by providing passports and worldwide transportation. The document also names Saudi officials who directly worked with the hijackers in the run-up to the attacks. The lawsuit has been lodged with a federal court in New York. It seeks financial compensation for the victims' families. Radio host, journalist, and political activist Don DeBar joins us now on the line from New York. Mr. DeBar, welcome to the program. Give us your thoughts on this lawsuit issued against the Saudis by the family members of those killed in the 9/11 attacks in a federal court in New York.
First of all, it's very noteworthy that the Obama administration had protected the Saudis from this lawsuit. The idea of sovereign immunity was peddled by the Justice Department and by the White House during the Obama administration as being some pillar of international law that must not be, breached whatsoever, or Americans would be tried around the world for various things. Well, while they were saying that, there was an ongoing lawsuit against Iran that was allowed to go straight through the courts with the assistance of the U.S. government, as a matter of fact, as an active agent in it, through two administrations that led to a huge judgment against Iran, which decided not to defend the suit because it was so absurd that it was clear there wasn't going to be any justice. And now that's being revisited finally. That's part of the context. If you look at some of the charities that are named in this lawsuit against the Saudis, it helps to give some insight into U.S. policy over the last 20 years, going back to the Clinton administration, particularly in Yugoslavia. What was Yugoslavia when Clinton took office, and a bunch of golf course-sized countries afterwards with a lot of smoldering debris. The Saudi High Commission for Relief of Bosnia and Herzegovina, for example, the Saudi Joint Relief Committee for Kosovo and Albania. Those are two of the charities that are accused of aiding the terrorists that took out the World Trade Center and hit the Pentagon and all of that. The Muslim World League, International Islamic Relief Organization, all these different Saudi organizations are, in the sights of this lawsuit. And there's a considerable case that's developed inside the pleadings. Also a considerable set of plaintiffs. The first 100 and some odd pages of the complaint are the list of plaintiffs. One last thing. This is happening the same day that we're seeing a change in direction start to take place with the Trump administration with respect to the so-called Muslim bans. Before, the first two executive orders used a list of parties that had been developed by the government, various governments going back to the Carter administration, and Iran was on that. This list, with respect to electronics coming on flights from various Middle Eastern countries, lists the Saudis, the UAE, Egypt, a number of other places, and not Iran, which I'm thinking is perhaps part of a whole change in direction that's being signaled here by allowing this lawsuit to go through and all the way through pulling back the hostility towards Iran.
Thank you very much, sir. Don DeBar, radio host, journalist, and political activist, joining us on the line from New York.